never a good sign.
What's happening? I don't have power. Can you hear me?
You know when you tell me to go steady, I'm not going to go steady.
Yeah.
Go on. Get it, girl. Get it.
Get in there, Lewis. Fantastic weekend all round. Really, really solid.
Great job, everyone. What a weekend.
Welcome to this week's SGSB Podcast. I'm John.
I'm Vince.
I'm Braden.
And we're back on Wednesday night.
Who was ready long before?
Well, my brother is officially gone. He's not here anymore, which has been the major distraction. So we should resume normal programming after the Spanish GP, where we're actually podcasting when there's time to listen to it before the next race.
Or listen to it while you're watching boring practice. I mean, hey.
That's true.
If our viewers record it, then they can listen to the podcast before they watch practice.
If they TiVo it, is that a TiVo plug?
That's a TiVo plug.
Jesus
Cue
Christ.
the VCR, bitches.
If you're from
You know what you
1999...
can do? In the 21st century, you can find us on YouTube at the SGSB F1 Podcast, and you can watch us while watching boring practice. Because who wants to watch that?
Ooh, but that's like double screens, man.
Yeah, we live
People in the
Vince.
21st century usually have two screens, or they have like an iPad, and then they have their TV, or at the very least they have their phone and they have their TV.
Vince is so old that he has to stand up to go change the channel on his television. It's like just the dial. He
Yes,
flips
sir.
I sometimes
And he
lose my
grunts,
remote,
goes,
so I have to go sit there, and it's like the touch screen, and I'm like, fucking change.
Vince still thinks you can go buy a plasma TV.
Wait, aren't they still plasmas? What are they, LCDs, LEDs now, or whatever?
We've moved
that
on.
Wasn't a joke. That was legit.
That was legit. I knew that was going to pay off.
Fuck right off. I mean, I understand the plasmas are the thickers. Fuck, we're moving on. Fuck you guys.
Yep. We're not going to... This is not consumer electronics right now.
This is not bash the older people here hour.
Well, older
Be
people
kind
don't
to
know.
your elders.
I'm actually more surprised that you know that podcasts are a thing, Vince. Like they've reached you at your age.
Well, you know, the spam emails finally got me.
Yeah, all that money you gave to Nigerian princes.
It's finally paying off.
It's finally paying off. I'm seeing the
They're
dividend.
finally coming back full circle, and they're repaying you.
I put it in my bank account, and then all the money was gone. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, we sent money through AOL chat rooms, and I don't know what happened. So.
Yeah.
But talking about something as interesting as this, the British Grand Prix. Yay.
Ooh, segue.
Hey, it was a much better race this time.
That was a much better race this time around.
Thank God.
So we're hitting races that we usually would hit earlier in the year, later in the year, so all the temperature is different. That we're also dealing with Pirelli. I'm so glad that they changed the tires for this race to softer tires. I think that was a really, 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 really good move.
It's almost like having to change up strategy from what you're used to makes for interesting and unpredictable and exciting racing.
Even though we just raced there twice in a row. This race actually fucked our whole thing, Vince, where we said all the second races are going to be boring this year.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of flopped on us.
Well, qualifying proved that it was going to be a lot different, man. I mean,
oh yeah,
fuck. I was too busy golfing, but then I finally got to watch qualifying. So no, dude, qualifying was great. I mean, fucking the alphas need to just blow up on the track or something.
Oh,
they suck.
do. We've said it time and time and again, that team needs to be blown up at the end of this year, if not sooner.
Right.
Yeah. But then George Russell, our boy, got in the Q2 again.
Yep.
So
George Russell into Q2. Verstappen had to. They Red Bull got ballsy. They switched something up. They qualified on the hards, and Verstappen had pace on the hards. I mean, I think it was P4, P5, in Q2, and he was the only team that ran that strategy, which ultimately ended up with them winning the race.
Yep.
But that was I like that. They were like, yeah, I mean, if we don't do anything different, we're going to expect the same outcome race after race. So we went for it. We went full send, and it turned out really well. So let's hope that happens more in the future.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting that even though at the end of qualifying, I mean, Mercedes was a second ahead of the next, ahead of Max and Nico. And also, just sidebar there, Nico Hulkenberg did a really, really good job in that Racing Point this weekend.
Yes, he did.
I'm not going to get into that just yet. I have
very good job.
Tinfoily about it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I mean, there is some debate to be had about that, but no, Mercedes at the end of qualifying was still faster than pretty much everybody else by a full second, and then when that race came along, first couple of laps, I looked in and I said, they're not exactly pulling away from Verstappen on the hards.
No.
And at that point, pretty much immediately, I was like, we might actually have a race here. This might actually be something.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that. They had that much pace. Why didn't they throw on the harder tires? I was sitting there in qualifying going, Red Bull just played you. I was just sitting there going yep, y'all fucked it all up.
Well, I mean, if you look at the data, though, I mean, when they ran the hards in the race, they still didn't have pace.
Well, they could have had pace to get into Q3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta.
No, it's
true. I would say gamble first, go on the harder tire, and then, if you don't make it, you get that last Q2 lap, put it on the softs or the mediums, and go at it.
Well, I think Mercedes has gotten to the point in the turbo hybrid era where they're not used to risking their normal strategy.
Change up strategy to prove something to somebody.
Because at the end of the day, you go, well, we're a second ahead of everybody on the mediums. Fuck them. We're just going to fuck off into the distance as soon as we start this race. And then it doesn't, I mean, up until this weekend, there were 4 laps this season that haven't been led by a Mercedes.
Yep. Yeah. And that was just because they pitted early and Magnussen inherited the lead.
I thought it was fantastic, though. I mean, honestly, dude, fuck the Merc team. We've said that. I even say that. Fuck Mercedes. Fuck Toto. Fucking lumbering oaf. Dude, they played it so safely. You guys will agree. It was just some we're going to, like you said, John, we're going to just outpace you. And then they got their shit pushed in. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating when you have a team that comes second and third on the podium and, they're beaten out by a Red Bull for the first time this season or beaten out by anybody. And they say, we had a tough day today. It's go fuck yourselves.
Right. You still locked up the first or 2 out of the 3. What?
2 out of the 3 podium spots. And this is the 5th race of the season.
Right. And then
and you won the first 4. Get out of here.
Well, before we go into more newsy stuff, let's continue down the order. 4th, Leclerc, right?
Yep.
I mean, motherfucker just puts that Ferrari in places that it shouldn't be. I honestly will say that, what the fuck? Again, I mean, I was just that's Leclerc now. But he's finally showing his worth a little bit.
He's Alonsoing the shit out of that car.
Yeah, well, hopefully he doesn't have an Alonso end. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Right? Let's not put that juju on him so early.
I mean, there was an article that came out about, I don't know, half a day ago or so, where they said that they found a problem with Vettel's chassis and that it was causing issues, and that's why they're that explains his lack of pace. But I don't think that tells the whole story.
Well, I mean, Seb spin it up, bitch. But moving on to 5th,
The Vettel spin.
What was it, Albon?
The Vettel spin.
Fifth was Albon, yeah. Good race for Albon.
For once,
Good
we could have
recovery.
predicted a boring top 5, though. Think about it. I mean, it was still the same 2 Mercs, 2 Red Bulls, and a Ferrari.
But it was
Yeah.
an exciting race.
Oh, no, it was. But it kind of cracked me up to see that top 5 again. It was like, oh, back to what we used to be, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Albon, after a really, really poor qualifying again, he made a lot of really good moves. He was overtaking left and right, and it was a good race for Albon.
Well, dude, when you get to beat up on the B team players, yeah, you're going to look good.
I mean, you still got to make the moves, though. You still got to make the
moves. But, dude, when, Shaq dunks on a D2 athlete, yes, it's still a dunk, but it should happen 100% of the time. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you're being a hater. I think he had a good race.
I just don't trust Albon as much anymore. I don't think he...
I still think he's pretty much a rookie. I mean, think about when Charles Leclerc first got into the main team. He wasn't putting in consistent results every weekend. It took him a minute.
It took him a minute, but Albon had a whole half season last year to get that out of him.
It wasn't an entire half season.
Yeah, I would argue he is maybe at a half season in the Red Bull car right now.
11 races or so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
okay.
so.
Still, nonetheless, we've talked about this last time, but I just one day that strategy of, I can do it well in the races is going to bite him in the fucking ass. He won't be able to pass people, or he's going to crash it. And then
I think you're being short-sighted on him. I think he had some B team or not. He still passed drivers, made positions, and ended up in fifth.
He passed it twice in Stowe? It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay.
Those were good passes.
Yeah, those were great passes, but can you, now you're on that fine edge of you have to do that every time. You get what I'm saying? Like, if he fucks up, he gets killed by the sword. So he's going to fuck off into 9th place, get out qualified almost by a fucking Williams. I mean, are you kidding me? Come on.
I'm not saying he's doing the best that could be done in that seat. Again, we talked about this last weekend. Yeah, I don't see who they replace him with.
I'm still sticking with what I said about him.
I still think he has the potential of being a solid driver. I think he just needs time.
We'll see at the end of the year. I'm still willing to give him time, but I'm like, dude, you got to start showing some progress. There's no progress. There's no change, John.
The good news for him is all things perfect. He should have this full seat for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
They're not going to bring in Kvyat or Gasly. They've already tried that. It's not worked before. There's nobody, in F2 that is ready to take Gasly or Kvyat's seat. So I think, realistically, this is a gap year or a safe year, and Gasly and Kvyat will probably be there for next year for 2021 as well, just to kind of keep some structure. And then if they blow it up, if nothing works out, then they do it 2022 with the rule change.
Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move on from that.
Talk about a team though that really kind of shat the bed a little bit. McLaren.
Yeah, not the best weekend for McLaren.
Not at all.
Like, Norris was 9th, Sainz was 13th.
Yeah, out of the points with one car,
Yeah.
Norris was happy to come 9th too. He said the car wasn't good at all this weekend.
Which is really interesting because the McLarens looked really strong, but was outperformed by at least one of the Renaults. The other one,
Danny Rick only got fucked because towards the end he on old tires he was getting passed by somebody. He Seb-spinned, which he admitted to in an interview, which is hilarious.
Just a little brutal.
But he Seb-spinned and he fucked his whole race. So I mean, if not for that, he would have finished right behind Ocon. I think they would have locked up 7th, 8th, or 8th, 9th, whatever it was.
That's true.
But yeah, so because of that, pretty binary for Renault. Which we'll say it again. They're doing better than I think we expected them to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, well, we just glanced over one fuckhead in the race. Fucking Stroll.
Which
Well, we got Stroll and Hulkenberg.
Well,
They-
I said
6-7.
one fuckhead, and that is Stroll. Fucking
Oh, that's true.
Hulkenberg, man.
this
Yeah.
annoys me.
I feel like we've got some opinions on this.
I was very, very, very convinced that Hulkenberg was pitted so Stroll could take over and a rental driver doesn't outshow Daddy's son in this first
Daddy's
race in the
special
car.
boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Daddy's special boy.
for sure, I sign on board with that. John?
I put that in. I was yelling at the TV. I put that in my notes in all caps. I was furious that they would rob a well-deserved fifth out of Nico Hulkenberg, finishing ahead of Formula 1.5, if you will, at the very front. He should have had fifth. He shouldn't have pitted and come out behind Stroll. Now, he said, this is the story that they're giving, is he had vibrations the last 4 laps or whatever. They didn't want the tire to blow out. Whether that's true or that is all just a big conspiracy, I'll leave that up for you to decide. Maybe he got a little extra cash money from Daddy Stroll to stick to that story and not outshine Daddy Special Boy, but I was real upset that happened.
Yeah. No, I was with you, Braden. I definitely thought that it was because they pitted him, and I was like, why are they pitting him? His tires aren't that old, and they're putting him on the mediums. And I was just kind of confused at it. And then I was like, well, it drops him behind Stroll. And I was like, well, maybe they're going for a fastest lap. And then story came out that it was that he had vibrations and he didn't think that the car was going to make it to the end of the race. Whether or not that's absolute and total bullshit is hard to say, really.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't a lot of team chatter when I tried to look for that.
Allegedly, if you pay for F1 TV Pro, you can go back and you can listen to Hulkenberg's radio message that he did say that there was vibration. He was worried about the car. Normally, if something comes out that's interesting after the fact, they'll put it in a compilation of team radio bits and put it up on YouTube or whatever in like a 10-minute video. I didn't see any of that. I didn't hear any of that. You would think with such a hotly contested topic that they would have put something out like that.
You would think.
Which, to their defense, on Racing Point's Twitter, they did tweet out that Hulkenberg reported significant vibrations towards the end. That was the call that we pitted him. He was unlikely to make the flag without it. Everyone on Twitter was pissed. Everybody on Twitter shared the same sentiment that we did, so they're all calling him out. The top one was Daddy Stroll called that. And credit where it's due, Racing Point came to his defense. And they said, they tweeted at this guy, last time we checked, he wasn't a race strategist, ... Someone said the next comment down was doubtful, and they commented back, fact, period. So their social media team is in on it too, whether or not it's true or not. The funniest thing to come out of it was everyone, it almost seemed like everyone was replying with this picture of, God damn it, this picture of Nico Hulkenberg in Racing Point gear flicking off the media. So everyone almost saying, "Oh, Hulkenberg has to pit. He's got bad tires," and that's just.
Yep. No, I don't know.
I think they fucked him. I'm still in that camp that they fucked him. They ruined his race. They couldn't have a rental come in for one race and show up Daddy Special Boy because there'd be no reason for Lance Stroll to have a seat. If a guy who hasn't driven an F1 car in 9 months can come in and put it higher than he can in qualifying and the race, what's the point of him being there?
The thing is if you look at raw data and facts, Nico's a better driver and B, a faster driver than Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Like, he was better than him all weekend. All weekend in a car that up until a week ago he had never driven before.
Yep.
So I know that there's a lot of, for some reason, I've been seeing a lot of defense of Lance Stroll lately, where people are like, oh, like, Lance isn't that bad. He's, if they kick out Perez, then it's not that bad. And it's like, no, it's
he won
it's a war
GP3.
crime. Yeah, no, I don't think that's.
Are we fucking serious? I mean, what the fuck?
I have publicly come onto this podcast and say, hey, give him a good car. Maybe Lance Stroll is not that bad. At a track that driving skill matters, I'm rolling back those comments a little bit because he was dog shit at Silverstone these last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Not good.
Damn fucking Stroll defenders. Everyone needs to get off the fucking goddamn Kool-Aid, you fucking dumbasses.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I don't know. It looks like Perez is going to be back in the car next weekend. So we'll see what goes on in Spain. But
barring that he tests negative, I read that Nico is traveling to Barcelona. He should have gotten there today. He'll be here today and tomorrow, just awaiting a test from Perez. As to whether or not his end is near. Or he races one more weekend. He's gone. He's come out saying that he's going to be in the simulator all the beginning of the week. So he's already done that. He's been preparing for it if he needs to. Right. But we'll see.
Well, and of course, while we're still on the topic of Nico Hulkenberg, there's a lot of rumors going around. Sky Sports, F1 posted it. Nico Hulkenberg keen to return to F1 with Alfa Romeo.
Oh, no.
So there's been
I've
F1, Sky Sports, ESPN. Everybody seems to be kind of, touting that Alpha's a spot for him to come back at.
So when is that article that you're looking at from?
So let's see. 10 hours ago, 16 hours ago, and 14 hours ago.
Okay. Because I saw, we'll stick on Hulkenberg because Hulkenberg has been a big topic here.
It's probably been one of the biggest topics of the weekend, honestly.
100%. So
honestly, yeah.
We all know that Hulkenberg has been tied to both a Mercedes seat now, with Ross Brawn coming out saying that when he was running the team, right when they switched over to the turbo hybrid era, Nico Hulkenberg was the next guy he was going to choose if Lewis Hamilton didn't join up at that point. That was his choice to partner Nico Rosberg. Maybe, we've seen what Mercedes did in the last 6-7 years. Maybe Nico Hulkenberg is a 3, 4, 5-time world champion, over the last couple of years. That's neither here nor there. That's a bunch of conjecture. The point I'm getting to is, with Nico Hulkenberg doing really well in Silverstone in the pink Mercedes, with Sebastian Vettel publicly calling out Ferrari, publicly saying that, you've messed up the strategy. Obviously, things aren't very great with Seb and the Scuderia. There have been reports on different websites that, does Ferrari and Seb cut ties early? Do they terminate his contract mid-season? Do they bring in Nico Hulkenberg to replace him?
Wow.
He's been tied to a Ferrari seat as well in the past.
Well, an Alfa Romeo Jr., so the whole thing is, as of 10 hours ago, he was talking to another podcast, and they asked him if he was trying to find, a full-time seat and if he'd had any talks. He said that he had already had talks with Alfa Romeo team principal Fred Vasseur, and that he'd consider driving with the team next year. He said there's several teams that play into it. It's the whole package, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, it doesn't hurt that argument or that idea that he's already talking to a Ferrari-backed team. So whether or not it's this year or next year that they're trying to replace Seb,
well, Sainz is in next year.
Sainz is in next year. That's true. Oh yeah, duh.
Well, we're forgetting about another bunch of dumbasses with a Ferrari engine.
Haas. Well, and that's the thing is Grosjean's going to be gone, and
Grosjean's going to be gone. K-Mag has to be gone because how do you keep him after this? After the last couple of years, I've seen this too. I was reading it. I think on Motorsport that he's been in talks with Haas. He's been in talks with Alpha. He's been working with Racing Point all throughout basically the time he's been gone. So it's a real toss up. I don't think the one thing that they really said about Haas was unless they're absolutely desperate for a driver and desperate for a seat, they don't think that he's going to go there because, I mean, honestly, why wouldn't you? Or why would you? Haas is really a joke.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. Think about this lineup, though. Perez and Hulkenberg are back, just like at Force India.
I would love it. Perez and Hulkenberg, like at Force India in Haas, I would think would be a fantastic team.
It would be.
I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Money for Haas. It brings in much needed money for Haas when the salary cap comes in, so they have that much extra money that they can, free money that they can spend on developing the car. Maybe they can revert. Maybe they can start, going back to their old ways of being regular point scorers, and that means more money for the team. That means maybe Haas sticks around a lot longer.
Right. Even that, though, I mean, who else is going to fill those seats? I mean, there's really no one. You're not going to put Raikkonen. You're not moving Gio, I'm a bad Sopranos extra Venanzi into that seat.
Gio doesn't deserve a seat in F1 anyways.
Well, yeah, I'm hopping aboard that train there, Braden. You've convinced me.
Fuck no, Gio does not need to be in
Gio's
F1.
A fucking trash heap of a
I forget Gio exists. Not only that, but Alpha, I feel like Alpha's given up on him to the point where every FP1, it's
someone else in his car.
It's Kubica in the car anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, why
I wouldn't be surprised if they threw Kubica in there just for shits and giggles in races.
You might as well. I mean, the car's trash.
The car's trash, and all the sponsors, Orlon, is Kubica. Yeah. So how is their reserve driver the one bringing in the biggest sponsor? You know what I mean? I think Alpha has to move on that. But, I mean, yeah, Haas having Perez and Hulkenberg would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and they would will that car. Even if it's a trash heap, which I still think it will be, they could will that car into Q2 at least.
Into better positions.
Better positions.
And as we're still talking about Haas, this article came out not too long ago, but it says that so the 12th, which is today, is the deadline to sign the new Concord agreement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which says that Haas would continue, in the sport and whatnot. So according to Gunther Steiner, he says that as he's talked to Gene Haas recently, he says, we're as ready as you can be to sign. I spoke to Gene before. I'll call him within the next 2 days, and we talked through it once more. But at the moment, all signs are that we're ready to sign.
I think it's good that they are. I think Haas can make a move, but they have to shake the fucking tree.
Yeah.
I mean, for fuck's sakes, you stuck with the same shit pile lineup, and all what's happened is you are going downhill into the cesspool of despair and shit.
I mean, they got rid of Gutierrez when he was in the team. I mean, it's not like they haven't, it's not like they've never made a driver change, so I don't know why they're waiting on doing it now.
Well, yeah, no, it's fucking retarded. And I mean, I love Gunther, but I mean, dude, lay some dick out on Gene Haas. I mean, Gene Haas doesn't look like a very intimidating guy. So you know what? Fucking muscle
dick out on Gene Haas.
Muscle him down, man. I mean, if you're the team principal and you're handed shit, you're gonna tell the guy you gave me shit, so only expect shit. And it's like
here's some conjecture that can kind of put all these pieces of the puzzle into place. As of yesterday, there was a Mexican sporting magazine or newspaper or something like that that reported Sebastian Vettel has hinted that his decision about what to do in 2021 has already been made. Although there is rumors that Sergio Perez's sponsors are willing to pay more, it is believed that the Mexican will be replaced by Ferrari refugee Sebastian Vettel after Racing Point becomes Aston Martin next year.
Mm-hmm.
The paper or magazine, whatever it is, La Gazzetta dello Sport, believes that a 3-year contract has already been signed with $15 million a year salary, including a brand ambassadorial role. The paycheck, Vettel says paycheck, number on the paycheck's not so important, but it's the motivation to achieve something. However, Vettel says that an announcement is not imminent. It is believed that it was delayed for about a week because of Perez's coronavirus infection.
Yeah.
He goes on to say it'll go on for a few more weeks. Nothing will change this morning. But I don't see that I'm under pressure in a way. I've already made my decision, and we'll see what happens. So, Vettel out, Perez out, Vettel in. Perez is looking for a seat. Perez brings a lot of money. Haas blows their team out. Perez brings money. Hulkenberg brings in Perez and Haas, or Perez and Haas, Hulkenberg. Beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we're all in agreement.
Yeah. No,
I'd buy a fucking Hulkenberg Haas shirt.
And then next year,
absolutely.
And then next year it's Schwartzman, Schumacher, and Alfa Romeo.
Oh
God. Yeah.
Or the least, what I don't like, but what I also might be more possible is Kubica, Schumacher.
I think it'd be Kubica, Schwartzman.
I mean, it's been back and forth as to which driver is doing better. Mick Schumacher has been doing better as of late. The past 2 races, Schumacher has done better than Schwartzman. The first 3 races, Schwartzman did better than Schumacher. So it's going back and forth. But I have seen that obviously with Kubica getting a bunch of FP1s, Kubica bringing in money. They might the idea of throwing Kubica in there has been tossed around as well.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be bad. Honestly, he can't do worse than Gio.
Well, not only that, but I've heard that Kubica is really good at developing a car.
Yeah. I mean, we forget that he was a good driver and still is, but I mean,
he was a great driver.
Yeah, he was
late
pretty
2000s.
good.
Yeah, a good driver. I mean, I think he can develop the car better than fucking Gio. Honestly, I think Raikkonen's checked out. He's just
I think
collecting a paycheck.
I think he's done.
Well, he's a man. He's a man's man, and he'll see out the end of the year. But he's done after this. He's going to start developing little Raikkonen to be the prodigy that he's going to be.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still wanted to talk about Vettel just a little bit.
100%. I love tinfoily stuff. Let's do it. Keep the train rolling. There's nothing much else we can talk about.
Yeah,
well,
we're rolling in tinfoil right now.
But the whole Vettel mid-season replacement. I mean, I feel like that's more and more likely. And since you've said it, I can't stop thinking about it because it's just I could see them replacing him mid-season. Especially with Leclerc outperforming him so much.
Yeah. I mean, Vettel started P12, the lowest start that he's had all season this year. He couldn't get into fucking Q3 on the softs. He couldn't make the softs work for 1 lap. The grippiest, fastest, supposed to be fastest tire, shitty race tire, but he couldn't make that last to get into Q3 this year.
But I don't know. I feel like that relationship
just barely beat George Russell in qualifying too.
Yeah, he did. There.
Yeah, like Russell is right on his fucking ass.
By like less than 100th, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you, John. Now that that's been said, it's like sack him.
But
he's leaving.
I mean, like just listen to the radio messages. He's just like he doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's not even playing PR.
No.
He's like, why did you do this? What are we doing? Like, and I don't know. Like, I wouldn't put it past Ferrari because I think Ferrari is a petty enough company that they would hang out Vettel to dry just to be like they've already written off the season. They already knew that they weren't going to be that competitive, and they're just like, fuck them. Like,
well. I saw a bunch of Italian stuff come out, of the team, they back Vettel. We want to do everything we can to make Vettel feel comfortable. We're giving him a new chassis, yada, 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 all this PR, Italian,
Bullshit.
coddling, kind of weird bullshit. But it was, I just think that I thought it was a good idea, or a possibility that he's going to get sacked in the middle of the year. At the same time, Ferrari also knows that they aren't shit right now. They're not going to be shit until 2022. Who do you bring in? If you bring in Hulkenberg, you bring it in for half a season. Carlos Sainz is already taking over that spot for next year.
Yeah.
Maybe it gives Hulkenberg a chance to drive around and prove his worth for next year. But I don't know. I think Vettel is definitely the strategy. What he was talking about on the radio message was he was pitted essentially early so that Leclerc wouldn't get held up by him. And that was the reason why Leclerc was able to go on and get fourth.
Right.
So his whole aggravation, the reason why he was pissed was they pitted him very early on the tires that he was. It was absolutely unnecessary in his eyes. The only reason that they did was so they wouldn't hold up their number one driver, Charles Leclerc. So he's obviously getting preferential treatment. Charles Leclerc is. So
right.
I don't know. Who knows? It's all a shit show. It's all a shit show. It's always going to be a shit show some way or another at Ferrari.
Well, okay. So here, just out of curiosity, I looked up the constructor standings. So there's no way Ferrari gets close to Red Bull or Mercedes in constructors' points. Like that's just not.
Mm-mm.
Red Bull's already got more than double. And
yeah, if you're consistently only having one driver finish in the points, that's what'll happen.
Right. However, the more interesting thing, in fourth is McLaren, and they're only 2 points behind Mercedes.
I made a point of that, yeah.
Wait. No. You said that wrong. How the fuck are they
fourth? Or no,
in?
not Mercedes. I'm sorry. McLaren is 2 points behind Ferrari.
Yeah, that's after Ferrari. 2 poor showings at Silverstone.
Right.
So.
That's after both of the McLarens have not done well at Silverstone.
Yeah. Dude, fuck Vettel. Seriously though, this is showing just how petulant of a fuck he is. It's like,
no, I don't agree with that. I think this shows how petty fucking Ferrari is.
Well, dude, they're petty as shit too. But it's like, you could be a fucking man and try to win with that car, or not win, but fucking get it into the spot it's supposed to be. But he can't. But I
think Ferrari is literally not supporting him at all whatsoever in any sense of the word.
Would you support someone who's already leaving and who's already signed a contract with the rival? I wouldn't. The fuck, I want to help him.
You do need all the points to get all the money.
Right,
well,
and that
is true. But he's a 4-time world champion.
But what I'm saying is the only reason why I could see them swapping out Vettel for a Hulkenberg mid-season is because McLaren is so close in the points, and if they come fourth in the constructors instead of third, then that's a lot less money. And the thing is in that mid-pack area, it's kind of tight because Ferrari's got 55, McLaren's got 53, Racing Point's got 41, Renault's got 36. It's all pretty close. One good weekend and one double DNF or something like that, or 2 cars out of the points.
One DNF in the ninth place.
Point. That's Racing Point losing 15 points too. It would have been 56, 55, 53. So it would have been a lot closer. So Racing Point's going to make those points up.
Right. So that automatically puts Ferrari into fourth in the constructors, with McLaren potentially passing them, putting them into fifth in the constructors. Now, I don't know exactly what the pay scale is on that, but I'd imagine it's a fucking lot of money.
I'm gonna think that it severely drops off from top 3 to fourth to
it'll drop severely from third to fifth. That's a guarantee because like last year, Kubica scored that 1 point, so Williams got $3 million for all the travel expenses. That one single point made that much of a difference. So you guys are right. You got to assume that third to fifth, I mean, that's fucking astronomical. So
F1 is ruthless. You don't score any points, you don't get any of your travel money.
Yeah, I just don't believe in Vettel. I mean, you know what, dude? If you want to go to fucking Racing Point, then just quit now. You know what I mean? Like, he's not showing any worth to finish out his contract with Ferrari. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting a little bit mad at, and that's why I'm like, kick that fucking crowd to the curb, dude. Fucking bombing out like D-Day. Fucking send his ass. If he wants to go to Racing Point, go sit in a sim for the rest of the year. Fuck you.
Bomb it out like D-Day.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fuck that crowd, dude. March that asshole into the bunker and put one behind his head. I mean, you know what? Fuck him.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I'm sorry. Like, if you're not going to finish out a contract with a team that, you know, you've been with for this long, fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, but I also don't blame the Italians for letting his ass fucking hang dry like Mussolini. I mean...
All right. Can we move away from World War II?
all the World War, all the war
Jesus
references.
Christ. We get it. You don't like Vettel. But I also think Ferrari is a bunch of dicks. We all know that Ferrari is a bunch of dicks.
Oh, 1,000% they're dicks. But you know what? If they're going to be dicks to Vettel, you know what? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
But they're on the same fucking team right now.
Not anymore. No, they're not. Vettel is on Team Vettel, and Ferrari's on Team Leclerc.
He's been dicked over by him. I don't blame Vettel at all.
I don't think he's been dicked over. I think he's Seb-spinned his ass into this point.
Let's talk about let's move on. Let's talk about your other favorite driver, Vince, and we'll talk about how Verstappen has now taken over second in the Drivers' Championship.
Look, I'll say this, and I think I even texted it to you, Braden. Fucking did a hell of a race. You can't take that away.
He did one hell of a race.
I can't argue that, like John said earlier, finally someone did something with strategy to fucking change it up. You know what I mean?
That was Verstappen's call early on in the race. The what I think will become a legendary team radio.
Absolutely.
This is the only chance I'll have to get close to the Mercedes. I'm not driving like a grandma.
Yep.
And he was.
No. Look, I mean, John, you know how much it hates me to do this, but I mean, he made the call and he told his team, you know, his strategist to fuck off, and he's going for it. And I was like, all right, this is what makes an F1 world champion right here. Like, you as the driver in the seat in the car, you know what's better than assholes on a computer on a pit wall. So, you know what? Credit where credit's due.
those dang computer machines. How do they work?
Yeah, Earth, Wind,
what are they playing Pong back there? What is?
Fuck, they even get Pong, dude. Channel 37's always fucked up.
I'm surprised that went that well for you, Vince. Vince, actually, that was a full segment where I was expecting Vince to call Verstappen overrated, a cocksucker, something of those petulant child, and he just basically got down on his knees and just opened his mouth. I mean, he took the full Verstappen load right there.
Dude, you know what? He drove a hell of a race, and it was strategy. He raced well.
He did.
But they called strategy well as well. I mean, that was a team effort. Fucking, I hate Red Bull. But they just did well. I'm sorry. Like, dude, in the Mercs.
Hateability.
No, dude, in the Mercs, I mean, dude, you know I hate that Mercedes team. I mean, fuck them, dude.
I'll raise you this point, too.
Hubris.
I'll raise you this point to make you more mad, because I like Mad Vince.
Not tonight.
And we can debate this if you'd like. Verstappen started P4 and won the race. Albon started P9 and comes P5. They drove an equal race.
Nope. Who's harder to pass?
How not?
Who's harder to pass?
I love Verstappen as much as anybody else on this podcast. I also happen to be Dutch.
You trying to tell me that Albon drove a better race?
Verstappen passed failing Mercedes, and those were the only two people he needed to pass, and he held it together. By God, I couldn't do a cock hair of what he could do, but by God, all he needed to do was keep it ahead of two struggling Mercedes. Albon started from the back and then pitted, and then he was out of the points, and then he made some passes, and he was back in the points, and then he had to pit again, and then he came back, battled through it again, passed more people, and ended up coming P5.
I mean, after Albon's pit stop, he was what? Almost at the very... Was he last at one point?
No. That was a very early on pit stop.
His first pit stop, he was running last.
Yeah, but no one in front of him had pitted either. All right.
You're right.
But he still was in P20 at one point. Do you disagree?
No.
Okay, and he
in the
finished
eyes of the law,
P5.
he was P20 at one point, but with the circumstances, dude, he was running higher than P20 at that point.
But he was P20.
Yes. In black and white, he was P20, but you know that he wasn't his real
Brayden,
fucking
do you
order.
agree that he was P20 and he finished P5?
He was
Where
P20,
did he start?
And he did finish P5.
Where did he start?
P9.
He started P9. Okay, so he dropped 11 places and then only gained 4 from his starting position. That means he was still minus positions, right?
No.
No?
How is he minus positions? He started
How'd you
9th.
do in math class?
And
Dude, I don't do math.
finished
The fuck I ever
fifth.
do math?
He was in last at one point and finished in 5th place. That's 10
Okay.
championship points.
What
He gained more
happened
places.
after he pitted P20? Everyone fucking pitted. I'm sorry, like, I think it's going to be Ham, Bott, Verstappen. Fourth and fifth, I'm having struggles with still. But fuck it, I wrote it down on my own sheet of paper. Leclerc and Stroll.
Ooh.
I honestly don't expect anything to be happening great.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty boring.
Yeah, and the bottom five is equally as boring. Russell, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Gio, Latifi.
Russell Grosjean, Raikkonen,
Gio, Latifi.
All right. Danny Double.
Danny Double at this track, 10th.
All right, Braden.
Spain is boring. Mercedes is boring. Mercedes traditionally never does bad in 2 tracks in a row. Even though they did bad 2 races in a row, one could argue at Silverstone, but it was the same track with different whatevers. I'm stalling. I'd be dumb not to pick Hambot because logic says that that's what it's going to be, with Verstappen coming in P3.
Mm-hmm.
I think Leclerc can probably squeak a P4. And then, fuck it, we'll go with Gasly, surprising everyone, picking up a P5.
Gasly. Okay, so exactly the same as Vince except for Gasly.
Yeah.
All right.
Bottom 5, starting from 16th, we'll go Giovinazzi, George Russell, Nicholas Latifi, Romain Grosjean. Even though they did well, both Haas's finished in the points last year. Romain Grosjean, and then I think Vettel will crash out.
Ooh.
Okay, whoa. Yeah. Go through your bottom 5 again. I'm writing it down for myself.
Giovinazzi, Russell, Latifi, Grosjean, Vettel.
Latifi, Giovinazzi, Russell, Latifi. Who's 19th and 20th? Sorry, I'm fucking old.
Grosjean, Vettel.
Okay.
You're younger than me.
I know. Well, radiation's a bitch.
He's got that Benjamin Button syndrome.
Oh,
He's Benjamin Button.
Nighttime real quickly. I found the newspaper in town and I bought that bitch today. All right, moving on.
The oldest man on earth, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Me. Oh, wait. What was your Danny Double, Braden?
Oh, Danny Double is Danny's going to come 12th.
Ooh. Someone's betting low on me now.
Okay. Here we go. Top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Spain's boring. Mercedes is boring.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Verstappen's coming second.
Mm-hmm.
Bottas third.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Leclerc fourth. Albon for the second week in a row puts in a good result.
Okay.
Bottom 5. I'm going with George Russell 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Magnussen 17th.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about Magnussen. I hate myself now.
Giovinazzi 18th. Raikkonen 19th.
Oh, I forgot about Kimi and that dog shit Alpha. Fuck.
20th. Do I think anybody's going to be in that?
No.
That would be interesting.
Stroll and Norris DNF'd last year.
That would be boring if no one DNFs, and Spain is boring, so I'm going to put Latifi there. That and I can't put him above anybody else, so I'm gonna fuck myself.
You're right.
Oh, yeah. I forgot Magnussen, and Braden forgot Raikkonen. He believes an Alpha's going to place 15th or higher.
Yeah, that's bold.
That is bold,
that was
Cotton.
Daily double.
Dumb.
Sorry, Danny
Danny double.
Kimi Raikkonen, I will have you know, placed 15th last week. So it's possible.
Ninth for Danny.
Oh, you little skunt, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I hope he gets 10th. I want to hit the first Danny double.
I know, none of us have hit it yet, and because
this week, I feel like someone's going to hit it this week, John. I think it's going to be you or Braden. Honestly,
9th, 10th, or 12th. I mean, it's right in the range.
I think it's either you or Braden, because I think 10th is just, you know what I mean? Like, he could pass someone, and who's ever in 10th is going to be like a fucking Toro or Alpha Tauri, and he's going to get 9th at the end.
You're
Like,
almost
Ocon
guaranteed
fucks
to
him
have
again.
like 2 or 3 people battling for 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I wrote it. I got mine down because I'll be watching the race live.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I'll call you motherfuckers. John, I know you're a couple hours behind me.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
It makes F1 a lot harder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'll give you a call. I'll start video chatting breakfast for you fucks.
Pacific time is not great for F1. I'll be honest.
Nice wake up call.
All right. Do we have anything else? Because I don't want to talk about Spain.
I don't want to talk about Spain either. Fuck Giovinazzi. Follow us on Twitter at SlammingGearsF1. DM us if you want to get in on some guest predictions. I plugged it earlier, but follow us, subscribe to us, like us on YouTube at SGSB F1 Podcast. I like doing these video versions of the podcast. I think it's neat, even though it's, shaky. I haven't done video editing since I was in college, or any kind of video production on anything. But once I get a little bit more stability here, moving to the new house, I'll probably play around with a bunch of other things here and put them out. But I like it. I like YouTube. YouTube's fun. I spend a lot of my time on YouTube. So Vince still reads the actual newspaper. But somehow he's able to navigate his way to our YouTube channel. So if Vince can do it, you can do it.
If Vince can do it, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So here's something really interesting before we kind of get out of here. If you go through, like, if you just type in F1 on Google, and it brings up like the calendar and the whatever, the British GP, the Hungarian GP, and gives you the race details and the finishing order and shit. If you click on Spanish GP, it gives you the race details, tells you where it's at, what time it is, and whatnot, and local time. If you click on Belgian, it says no in-person attendance. Italian, same thing. Tuscan, same thing. Russian, it's gone. It doesn't say it there because the Russian GP is going to be one of the ones that's allowing people to go actually watch the race.
They're targeting 30,000 spectators for that weekend.
If you click on the Spanish GP, it doesn't say anything about not allowing spectators. Are they allowing people there?
I thought they were.
I don't think they are. They still have Corona struggles.
I know, but it's weird that all the other ones say like no attendance allowed, and then yeah, I don't know. I just noticed that. I didn't know if you guys had heard anything or whatnot.
No, I haven't seen it. I have no reason to believe. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Sochi is going to be the first place where they allow spectators because it's going to be late enough in the year. That they'll try with that, and then they'll, depending on how that goes, they'll go from Sochi onward. Mugello is rumored to have spectators. Portimao is rumored to have spectators. Nürburgring is rumored to have spectators. So I think it's Sochi and onward that they're going to experiment with letting
actually having people there.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
So 30,000 people can fall asleep in the stands together at Sochi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they'll be 2
maybe
meters
that's why.
apart, so.
Maybe that's why they picked Sochi, because they knew everybody would be so bored that they wouldn't be wandering around or anything.
Oh,
They wouldn't be rambunctious, jumping all over each other. Yeah.
no, not at all. Fuck.
Well, anyways, I saw that. I was just making sure that I didn't miss something.
Let's put a fucking bow in it.
Let's do it. All right.
Fuck Spain.
Spain.
Fuck Giovinazzi. Fuck Spain.
Lance
Still
Stroll.
fuck
Hopefully I'm
Lance
moving to my
Stroll.
house this weekend.
Yep. That'll be cool.
That'll
But-
be neat.
Until next time, I'm John.
I'm Vince.
I'm Braden.
And we'll see you after Spain.
See ya.
See you.